What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream here. Happy Friday, March 28th. Before we jump into it, and again, my name's Zach. This is Real Deal Futures if you're new here. Before we jump into it, read what's on the screen here. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Don't copy anything you see here. Nothing you see or hear from me is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. Make your own trading decisions. Do your own research. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from the links in my content. All of that is down below the video. Let's go ahead and jump on to the charts. I'm going to get a fresh chart marked up with you guys here today. Going to get this done with you guys right here, right now, as the market is opening up. 9:30 a.m., 56 seconds on Eastern time. Let's go ahead and get my chart mark up. This way you guys really get a full view of how I mark my chart. We're going to go with prior day high here on MES. Talk about the charts that I'm on in a second. Can be helpful to see where I pull all my objective levels from. Got a light block in my face there. It's not good. Prior day high, prior day low, coming right off of the daily candle. Prior day's daily candle high, daily candle low. I'm also going to mark the overnight session high, overnight session low. Yeah, I'm going to have to adjust that. It's annoying. That's going to be my overnight low, the area that's put in from session changeover to 9:30 a.m. for NYSE open. It's going to be my overnight low. I'm going to get my overnight high up here. Nice, I got my VWAP line, I got volume down on the bottom, I got my visible range volume profile. Let's take a look at what this is looking like. Yeah, kind of chopping around VWAP right here. Let's take a look at, let's pull a couple more levels first before we actually get the analysis rolling. Let's go for the volume profile for prior day. Again, you guys are gonna get my full chart markup here. So started from scratch on this MES chart, just had too much BS on it. I like to do that sometimes. It's a good habit to do, just to start from a fresh chart, right? No BS, no crazy indicators, just some objective markups, maybe some discretionary markups, things that I do consistently day over day. Nice. That is going to be value area high. This is going to be my value area low. And again, this is coming off of the prior day volume profile. I used a fixed range volume profile tool found right over here in the projections tab down under volume based. I drug that over from 9:30. Whoa, let me make sure I get to the right spot. From 9:30 a.m. Eastern all the way to the 4 p.m. close. That's the time frame that I use. Again, you could use different times if you want, but you might want to apply some consistency in the way that you mark it. And if I get rid of that or adjust it enough, we'll probably see it, that the temporary volume point of control is kind of overlapping it, but there we go. The prior days of volume point of control is right there, and I'll mark that, and I'll label that POC this way. Nice. So now when we drop down onto the 1 minute, we have our objective levels. We have our objective levels on the volume profile. We have everything labeled so we know exactly what we're looking at. And we can start to get a feel for where we are in prior day's candle range, prior day's volume profile. So let's start on the daily as I always do. What's up? What's up? Doing well, doing well. Good to see you guys on here. Appreciate you hopping on, man. Getting a Friday stream in here. Seeing if we can't F it up, right? I tweeted today, as I do on almost every Friday, don't F it up Friday, right? I'm gonna get aggressive in these accounts, so that may look like an F up, but we're gonna see how this plays for me. So looking at the daily chart, again, not going too far back and talking about the consolidation, the sell-off, kind of the push up. Just looking day over day, what we've got for this week, so far coming off of these bottoms, we are starting this ever so slight uptrend, maybe a pullback before a continuation lower, right? We're certainly not just selling over day, week over week the way we were here. We are pushing to the upside, right? We've got lows down here, not breaking below prior lows. We got these highs breaking above these highs right here. Same thing, when we do pull back so far, we've just continued to break highs without coming down and breaking lows. Now, last couple days, we had a pretty gnarly bearish day right here, right? One of the largest daily down days that we've seen over the last few weeks, last few days, I'll say, right? Trading days, not massive weeks. Indecision candle here, and now we are opening up to the downside. This is a push to the downside for sure, as you can see it, but kind of this doji looking candle with a long wick to the upside. Now we are opening up to the downside as we drop down onto lower time frames. Of course, that's the daily. I can get rid of this line right here. Look at the 5-minute chart. We are selling off a little bit, right? So we can see session changeover. Let's take a look. Yeah, we can see session changeover, right? And TradingView actually marks this now. You can take this off the screen, but I don't mind it. It's kind of like this dark blue versus black for electronic trading hours, extended trading hours, and then actual regular trading hour session, NYSE. So pretty dang choppy back and forth session yesterday. Really gnarly sell-off, huge push back up, and then just back and forth, right? So some expansion, outside of this range right here, and then just some chop. Overnight session, we've sold off. And so far, we haven't swept this low, but we did look like we cracked down here right at the 9:30 a.m. open. Now we're right back up to VWAP. So not a whole lot of opportunity on this just yet. Let's just zoom back out. If we start to sell off, right, back through this overnight low, we're already down below prior day low. Excuse me, we're already cracked down below prior day low. If we start to sell off through that prior day low, through that overnight low level, I could see this as a continuation of the downside. Got to be cautious, right? Because we might get a day like yesterday where we just crack the low and then, take everybody back out to the upside. Conversely, I think a pullback up to this volume point of control from yesterday, which is showing temporary volume point of control, that 755 area, 5755 area here in ES, I could see that easily happening before we sell off, or if we're just going to continue the upside. If we start breaking to the upside, I might try to find some longs within this, but it's not going to be as appealing for a really big continuation. I think we could easily find, some sellers or at least some consolidation around this area. Right now, gun to my head, I would get long to 755. That would just be my pullback towards this area, stop loss below these lows. But this is looking weak, so if we start breaking down, I'm going to look short. Next area that I would be considering utilizing some caution would be down here. Let's just zoom out a little bit, kind of get that rolling. Yeah, I want the 5,700 mark. That's what it is. If I go like this and really cherry pick the zone, I can. You can see the volume profile, how it just is coming off of just this consolidation right here. But that's the area that I'm going to use caution around if we start to sell off, maybe taking profits, maybe looking to take partials, whatever, an area of interest, right? We're not going to call it a supply and demand, a support and resistance, an order block. I don't care about any of that. Area of interest, but yeah, we're looking weak so far. Choppy though, very choppy. I could see us continuing to chop. So down here in the 1 minute time frame, we will look to take our trades and try to get some cash put in these accounts. So these are Tradeify 50K straight to funded accounts. I got 5 of them daisy chained together. I'm using Trade Syncer to copy trade accounts. We are going to see if we can't get a trade on. I kind of like this to the downside, honestly, if we start to break, but this is kind of ugly structure to trade off of. Again, I'm cautious of this area up here. Excuse me, this area up here for a retest first. I really wouldn't mind a pullback up to this area and then a continuation lower, maybe giving us some structure on the way down. That would be helpful for a continuation to the downside type of deal. Again, I trade basic price action, market structure, volume, and order flow. I have Bookmap loaded up on the right-hand side. We do have some liquidity above and below today, so it's not really helping me too much. It's just showing me that we could go either way, and if we do, we might find some find some continuation. So we got the 710s down below this level for a breakout to the downside, and then the 700, 5700. I could see this as a short from up here. It's just not a good risk structure, right? Like, where do you get a stop loss on this thing? Again, this is what I run into sometimes with this choppy back and forth structure that we're seeing here right now. It's not terrible, right? You could run, you know, a wide stop like that. Maybe you go right above these session highs right here, targeting liquidity down here, you know, selling off, testing, and continuing to the downside. This is kind of choppy so far, though. Again, a retest of this level and then a continuation could be pretty clean, but it looks like we want to go hit 710 first. Quite a bit of liquidity down there. If we get down there, we could reject really harshly and pull right back up. We do have the 700s with some liquidity on it, the area that I'm looking at as well. This is an interesting spot on the chart. One fun thing that you can do with TradingView that I don't have access to on set bracket orders, and you actually see the bracket orders display. So it makes, you know, setting up risk really easy if you're lazy. You could throw it in limit and just see where your stop loss is going to go and what that means for your actual risk per trade, right? If I increase that to 3, I'm going to mark it into anything that I get into, but you can just kind of see where your stop loss and take profit is going to go. And then I would just drag these around as I go. But it would be important to enter with a bracket, so you have a one cancels the other, an OCO order in, and you're not entering, you know, additional limit or stop orders. So just a little fine tuning of TradingView here. Yeah, I don't know, kind of choppy, man. Kind of choppy. I would kind of be taking it from the middle of consolidation. I like it below VWAP, you know, getting below prior day low and overnight low. Stop would have to be pretty wide. You know, we'd have to really be all the way up here, and even that's not that beautiful for continuation of the downside. Looking at this short though, yeah, I'm gonna try this short, guys. I'm gonna try this short. I'm short 3 contracts from 718. I'm looking at this attempting to continue out of this area of consolidation. That would be really wide, you know, past value area high. I think if we continue all the way back up here, we are going to continue higher. So I'm going to go right above these session highs. I'm just trying to eyeball where I'm actually going to place my stop loss. That would be kind of wide. I don't know that I would need to do that. I want to see a continuation down from here. Let me just see what this looks like. Yeah, I could allow for a retest of this area, which we may get, and just kind of a little crack above before continuation to the downside. Retesting value area high. That would be pretty wide on this bad boy, and I would really want to be holding all the way down here, which I'm somewhat comfortable doing on a move like this. Just eyeball and stop. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to leave it there. I like to get, you know, situated, adjusted once I get into the trade. I know I want to get short on this. Eyeballing just kind of the nuances of where I want to place a stop loss. You know, again, if we start to come up much higher, I do think we can continue all the way back up here. But I do want to allow for some movement back to this area of volume, like right over here. So for those reasons, I'm going to run my stop up there. I think that's where I'm going to go. We continue and I get tagged out on that. It's going to be an L, and that'll be the starting trade for this one. But I'd like to see continuation. VWAP hold these lower highs, continue to the downside, breakout, and head towards 5,700. Even if we're going to push up on the day, I think it's likely that we crack this overnight low level. If we do, potentially continue to the downside. So that's what I'm looking at so far here on ES. Short 3 from 57.18 and a quarter. Stop at 57.36 and a half. I have a take profit in. As you guys know, I typically don't run take profits. Just to have a bracket order in here on TradingView with Tradeify and TradeSyncer. I think it's important to have something on that's a one cancels the other. It's a bracket here. You can see when I scroll over it. You know, I'll take profit wherever I want to take profit, as I always do. But I'm going to have something in just in case, you know, I want to let the order run or something like that. And again, the reason being is if I don't do that on the front end and I don't have one of those orders, I'm forced to enter a limit order. Unlike Project X on Topstep X, I'm forced to enter a limit order or a stop order that's not related to this position. So what could happen is, let's say I get stopped out and I have a limit order down here, a buy limit. This buy limit isn't canceled. The position's closed. This is stopped out. And now I have a buy limit down here with no associated bracket or stop loss that comes down and potentially gets tagged. So, you know, for those reasons, bracket order. You know, if I close out, I can't then drag more orders, as far as I'm aware, out of the position. So let's see if we get some continuation. Again, we have some liquidity down at the 710s. I'm going to watch this closely. Like I said, I don't mind taking quick profit on trades like this. We are in somewhat choppy conditions. I would like to see an extension to the downside, but I manage my trades, right? I try to, like I've talked about a lot, I try not to go stop loss to break even. I try not to close, you know, for small losses or anything like that, because I've just seen so many play out in my favor. But here we go, coming through these 710s. Can we find some sellers to get us through this overnight level here? That's going to be our question. Watching Bookmap quickly on this, closely on this one. Again, cautious that we could just see a sweep of this level before a harsh rejection to the upside. But I'm going to hold on to this for a little bit more of a push to the downside here. Again, we do have liquidity down at 5,700. I do like that to the downside here. If we do continue to sell off, that will be looking decent in my favor. I'm cautious here. We got buyers, and we did fill that liquidity, and we aren't really continuing through aggressively. I think we are going to see some pullback here, as we're starting to see right now. Yep, we got a little bit of buyer stepping in. Again, this is what I was looking at, this overnight low level. We're just sweeping below it and pulling right back up. I would have loved to see us just continue directly through that. Totally normal to find some buyers down here. Again, we still have 300 on the book down at 5,700. That's a clean target that I do have a take profit right above. Like I talked about, don't know that I would hold all the way down there. I'll manage my trades. I'll close out as I see fit. You know, and we'll just keep things moving from there. So, but showing green so far. Let's see what we could do. Ooh, getting an alert right now. Revised consumer sentiment coming up. Okay, we got news in 5 minutes. That's going to affect this decision. Hang tight, guys. Yeah, 4 minutes. This looks like an orange folder. Nothing crazy. I'm going to grab this one here, guys. I'm going to grab this one right here for 122 bucks across all 5 accounts. This may absolutely break to the downside. This looks like it's going to continue. I'm showing you why I'm grabbing this here. Not a massive trade, not a massive risk to reward. Not massively worried about that, but here's what we got coming up. If you're trading right now, orange folder news. This is actually labeled as red on a couple sites. Revised consumer sentiment. I almost missed this. 10 a.m. That's coming up in 4 minutes from right now. Revised consumer sentiment. That is a data release, not typically a massive market mover, but if I'm in profit like that, do I really need to hold all the way through? I think half the time it rockets right to my take profit. The other half, it rockets right to my entry or pass to my stop loss. So for those reasons, I'm going to get in and out real quick right there. 122.04 across 5 accounts. 610 bucks green so far on the stream with you guys. We got a winner in. Nothing crazy, right? That was wide risk. Grabbed quick profit down here. Again, I'll show you what I'm looking at on Bookmap as well as we wait for this number. This is Bookmap, my favorite order flow tool. Very simple the way that I'm utilizing it, right? We're hanging out up here, hanging out up here. I'm looking at the 5710 level, right at overnight low with a nice stack of liquidity, right? I like that as a target. We start to move down towards it. I want to hold towards that zone. The next level down here is the 5700, right? Next area to potentially be targeting. I'd be holding if we didn't have news coming up. Again, I've been taking a lot of trades off before news and they work out in my favor. This looks like that's going to happen again today. But here's what I'm cautious of, right? Using Bookmap, this is level 2 data and order flow. I can see where the liquidity is. What happens when we get there? Do these orders stay on the book? They did. We filled. We get a little bit of a pop right there. And then we do start to continue to drift lower. Down below these levels, I'm looking at this to come through and get filled, right? Cautious maybe below 5,700. Maybe we just knife through this thing and continue to the downside. But this is a decent stack of buy orders. This may be all the market wants to do before we potentially continue the upside and pull back up and grab some of these orders up here, right? Just basic pattern recognition. I'm not going to go into the mechanics of any of this because I just don't even think I'm well versed at it. I'm going to talk to you about how I look at it from a dumb guy perspective. We got a line on the chart that I want to pay attention to. I notice slightly more often than not when there's a line somewhere that X happens. That's how I play it. But in and out for 610. Again, just 120 some odd bucks across 5 50Ks. So in and out quick, not a massive trade, right? Grabbing a very small win relative to the risk that was on, but we have news coming up and news that I really wasn't even paying attention to. But we got a minute and 30 seconds to news. So while it's not a massive news event and I wouldn't mind to hold through something like that, do I really want to hold if I have the ability to just take it off, snag my quick profit, wait for that volatility to come in, and then make another trading decision to get back involved with the market? That's what I like to do. That's what I prefer to do, right? If I'm right near entry, I'm right near take profit, I'm right near stop loss, maybe you kind of just have that let it play out attitude, let it do its thing. But I think half the time you see that news, well, probably part of the time you see this news not do anything. The other part, you rocket to your take profit. You go, yay, I'm so smart. And the other part, you see it rocket to your stop loss and you go, I should probably just avoid news a little bit. This does still look good, right? I have my level down here. We'll see if this 5,700 and a half, that's where I have my take profit, is hit. But grabbing quick profit, getting in and out, taking risk off, nothing wrong with that. Not done trading, though, I'll tell you that, man. We're going to keep things moving today. Yeah, news. News, guys. 30 seconds to orange folder news, consumer sentiment coming up. Mohammed, what's up? What's going on, guys? Let's start from the top. El Don, let's go, my man. Hope everything is good today. Everything is good so far today, man. It's Friday. I'm here with you guys, trading live, hanging out. Just made some money, 610 bucks, clicking some damn buttons. I'm grateful, right? That's how I try to be with this. Humble and grateful. Am I putting up? Oh, there you go. There's the red folder news. Rocketing to the take profit, guys. Rocketing to the take profit. There's the liquidity getting filled here. Trading view is so damn slow. But there's the liquidity getting filled. Again, could that go the other way just as easily? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I've had a lot of these that just continue to play in my direction. And, they're just proven leave the trade on. But I just don't like to be involved if I don't have to in that type of volatility. I just don't like to be on the wrong side of it. It's not a fun thing when it happens. It's not a good feeling. It doesn't set me up for more good trading decisions. So for the most part, I just like to take it off. So let's see what happens from here. We went and filled 700. Immediate rejection down from that level. Let's see if we do continue back up. But what's going on, guys? Eldon, great to see you, man. Muhammad is my Fiverr animator. What's going on, guys? I got a sick animation coming up. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on from dudes that I've been working with. I got some cool thumbnails. I got some really cool animations, some graphics. Going to be looking real sweet and professional over here. Good morning, Jess. Cheryl, a lot of liquidity upside news. Yes. Good morning, Ryan. Revised consumer sentiment negative equals negative. All right, man. So what do we got, Ryan? Let's see what Ryan calls out here. We are positive, ever so slightly positive, Ryan. So we're looking at this to the upside, maybe. We went and filled this level, and now we are coming back up to the upside. Is that what you would call? What's up, Wolf? What's going on, guys? Made $50 yesterday. Nice. Listen, that's what I was about to say before I went on that saying hello rant. And again, appreciate you guys being here. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, check out the links in the top of the chat. You could be trading on these accounts, funded, making money towards a payout just like me. 35% off Tradeify. But jumping into that, man, I made $610 clicking some buttons right here, right? 10 a.m. news was negative. Let's go back. Ryan. My news, man. So I'm looking at 10 a.m. Oh, correct. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. I looked up here and clicked on core CPE. Thank you, Ryan. Dead wrong on that one. We are negative, right? We came in below the forecast. That says negative. Ryan says negative news on this consumer sentiment should be a negative reaction. Looks like we're going to see that. We saw that initially. Maybe we see a continuation. Let's see how this plays, Ryan. Thank you. It's dead wrong on that. But what I was about to say, as I'm rambling here, waiting kind of for this to die down. I don't have a trade right off the bat off this structure. I just made $610, right? Trading across 5 funded accounts, right? Only $125. Most guys, I think, and a lot of people, especially guys in my position that do, well, in general, they get really indifferent about that. They get really greedy, and they're never happy. They're never grateful. Not when they make 600 or 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000. And it's this never-ending comparison against, the top guys and what the biggest P&Ls are looking like. I don't know, guys. I hopped on here with you, and in 29 minutes, less than 29 minutes and 36 seconds, I put $610 in some accounts. I feel good about that, right? I'm grateful to have that. I think if you have that just general mindset, it can keep you from constantly being pissed off and pushing towards the never-ending blowing of accounts in pursuit of this massive profit. That's the thought process. So someone's commented they made $50. That's awesome, right? Made some $50 clicking some buttons, fantastic. And if you can make $50, if you can make $600, if you can make however much money consistently, and you could have those profits outweigh your losses, you could scale. You can continue to scale almost indefinitely not indefinitely, but a lot right now with the opportunities we have available. We have straight to funded accounts. We have copy trading. Again, I'm using Trade Syncer to copy trade. If you guys want to check that out, I'll drop the link in a minute. You can copy trade like a boatload of accounts if you wanted to. You could scale in live accounts. You can copy trade live accounts with your own personal account. You could just scale in general on one account. But make it work for you some way. Stay humble, right? Stick to your plan, stick to your system. Be happy with profit and just keep things moving forward. That's the name of the game here. I see so many traders go wrong comparing against the biggest P&Ls of the day, what the best traders put up. This guy made $20,000 or so-and-so, so I'm going to either make $20,000 or blow my account. You know how that ends? You're going to blow your account, plot twist. So that's the rant for this morning on staying humble, staying grateful. I talked about it on Topstep TV on Friday. A lot of guys, they were saying on there, what guys on your block can make $500 or $1,000 in 10 minutes clicking some buttons from the luxury of their nice computer chair in their AC house? Probably not many, right? Maybe some. You live in a nice area, but probably not many. Be happy with that. Be happy with that. Always be striving for more. Be hungry, right? But don't get way ahead of yourself, and don't try to compare yourself to what's out there, because it's a bad road to go down. So we got this news that wicked down to the downside here at ES, pulled back up, tested overnight low, and now we are selling back off here. Ryan has a call out to the downside. This is looking weak, man. This is looking really weak. This looks like we really might not want to pull back up. I'm not sold on it yet. There's certainly a trade to be taken to the downside here. Anticipating a breakout, simple break and retest structure. You could absolutely take this to the downside for a continuation lower. Thesis is downtrend structure down below VWAP, below overnight low, below prior day low, right? Below all of the volume levels from prior day. This is showing weakness. We're coming into uncharted territory. We're starting to break and hold down below 700 after breaking and retesting overnight low. This is a clean move to the downside. I'm not taking this one yet. I do believe and look at this structure that if we are going to continue lower, which I absolutely think we look like we're going to, might break out right here. I'd be cautious of a retest up here, back around VWAP, back around this temporary volume point of control, this prior day low, into this area consolidation. And for those reasons, I wouldn't want to stop right here. So it just comes down to an invalidation point. But let's see how this trade plays. Like, this could be a 1-to-1 right here, man. And it looks like it's going to be. Maybe even a farther continuation of the downside. So again, why would I be eyeballing this in the first place? Just all those reasons I just talked about. But let's really map it out, right? Starting this downtrend structure, right? Putting a high in that's not breaking above this high, continuing to the downside, breaking through, consolidating, breaking through, retesting really every level that I have on my chart, and just continuing lower, right? Very, very simple. Price action, market structure, volume, order flow. That's how I trade. Discretionary, simple. Utilizing my experience, utilizing my discretion, utilizing my subjective interpretation of price action, my discernment of all these tools, if you want to put it that way. But that's what I'd be looking at here on ES, right? Could you be looking for a long? Sure. I think you could get some really low win rate, low success, high risk to reward setups. You could constantly start shorting that low and hold for that move back up to what I'm cautious of, right? I think you would end up taking a lot of losses on this, but when you eventually hit it, a lot of small paper cuts, but when you eventually hit it, that win can outweigh your losses. But that's not what I'm looking at from this level. There's the breakdown. Man, there's that trade paying right there. Breakout, small break and retest of overnight low, continuing to the downside. You can see how these levels came in, right? Go back to the beginning if you want to know how I found every single one of these levels. I marked this chart from complete scratch. Where did I get all these levels from? How are they respected, right? Prior day low came into play. Overnight low came into play. The 700 range, just like I said, I want the 700 on my chart. I cherry picked this one based on the round psychological number. Not magical stuff here, guys. Like, this is what probably you would see a lot of traders use, but this is what I use, and you're watching it play out in real time. Why I use it. Not patting myself on the back. I come on here and take hella L's plenty of times with you guys, and you see stuff not work. I'll talk about it when it does work also. But really, really, really clean. You could literally just be trading level to level with basic risk to reward, grabbing 1-to-1s. But that was the short paying. Again, I started eyeballing it as we retested here and started coming back down through this low. Just didn't like this invalidation point, but that would have been an easy 1-to-1 to snag to the downside. Maybe on another day I'm a little bit more aggressive with it, but news low, wick down, pull back up. A little cautious, but more so it's this invalidation point. That's what kept me out of this one. I just don't love that that invalidation point right there. This up here looked very easy to be tested. I think on another day and on often days, we just pull one of these. We kind of consolidate for a second, and then we pull one of these, and then we continue lower. That's just real common structure, right? We usually don't just knife lower all in one clean spot. And as we're starting to calm down here after news, I'm a little bit cautious that we get something like that before continuation lower. Come back up here, check out this area of volume, take out everybody that's getting short down here before we continue lower, especially if we're going to move a lot lower the way we are right now. So for those reasons, no short for me. Let's see what we get from down here. Let's see what we get from down here. Orange folder, so might not be massive selling pressure. Sometimes red folder has more weight. Yes. I agree with that. Ryan, $170 made on 2 MNQ on that candle drop. Beautiful, Wolf. That's it. 2 micros, guys. 2 micros, boys and girls. That's it. Making money. Done for the day. Don't want to put on more risk. Wrap it up, man. It's Friday. It's don't F it up Friday, as we like to say. I see so many traders slip up on Fridays, make terrible mistakes, try to push it into the weekend, and it's just not what you have to do. So nothing wrong with wrapping it up. I'm going to be watching this. This is a lot of selling pressure. I'm going to be watching this to see what this looks like, what else sets up. You know, again, we're at 10:11 a.m. I want to see where we go from here. I'm not dead set on being done yet for the day. I am just trading the Tradeify accounts here. My 5 Topstep funded accounts. Been getting some scalping in on Project X. But we got a copy trading 5-pack here. $610 in profit. See if we can't put some more in. But we got 1 trade for a win right off the bat. What was the actual number? 122.04. Okay, so the leader account put up 118.29. So let's get the exact number because we like to be exact here, guys. 118.29. 606.45. That's the total profit less commissions and fees in these accounts right now. Selling off, man, really aggressively. Yeah, this is a knife lower. This is just a knife lower, man. Continuing to the downside. Next level that I'm watching is the 5680s. Right down below price. We got some liquidity sitting right here on ES. Man, just continuing to the downside. Liquidity on the book is staying up above. Wow. We got some more lighting up down below. Hell of a sell-off. This is looking ugly, guys. This is looking really ugly. So, you know, if I was a trend line guy, right, or I was just looking at market structure, that wasn't that bad right there, right? This pullback down here wasn't that bad, and we would kind of be maintaining, you know, this loosely defined uptrend channel if we're really zoomed out here on the 15-minute, right? That looked like we might bounce right there and continue the upside, right? Just eyeballing this. You know, you don't need to draw trend lines. I'm not a trend line guy, but just having a look here, right? We might also use an anchored VWAP down to this low to kind of see where we're at. Yeah. You know, again, look how that lined up with the trend line right here and here. I'd be looking for continuation. This is seller stepping in heavily. We had a chance to just kind of break it and then come back up through. This is pretty ugly. This is pretty ugly to the downside, right? I'm pointing out market structure, which I like to utilize, right, to trade off of. Simple technical analysis. This is showing a lot of weakness to the downside. We're trading 5680s, filling that liquidity now. We continue lower. This could really be a pretty bloody day. Now, I don't know if we get that. I would expect some kind of pullback before we potentially do that. You know, again, maybe back up towards this level. I'm certainly not looking for buys. This is not setting up right now for me to the downside. But just kind of pointing that out from a higher time frame perspective, as we start to get outside of some higher time frame structure, that, you know, that's important to be aware of, right? That's kind of your top-down analysis. I don't like to carry too much of a bias with me, but that's telling me, like, hey, we continue really aggressively. That might continue without really letting its foot off the gas. Coming into the next level that I have marked on my chart, you can see where this is coming off of. You know, kind of this area of consolidation, and then the lows down here. I'm going to throw another level since we're approaching these lows. Lows down here would be the next level. Again, I like the visible range volume tool, letting me know that this is a pretty serious area of volume. But the actual lows would be, you know, down here, and you actually see how that continues through. Came into play a couple times. Wow, aggressive, man, aggressive to the downside. Congrats if you held the short. Not my play. Not my play. So again, guys, appreciate you being on here. Smash like, smash subscribe. I'm here almost every dang day. I got a lot of cool stuff coming up, man. Next week is going to be sick. I can't wait to bring some of the new stuff that we got rolling out coming up with you guys. Going to be really awesome. I'm going to be running a ton of giveaways for prop firms. We're going to have wild stuff going on the stream. If you're not subscribed and tuning in every day, now's the chance. I'm going to put a lot of time and effort and money behind growing exponentially coming up. I've been doing that now with you guys, but what I've been working on the last couple days, more YouTube videos, more content, and really getting prepared to be here with you guys, trading live, doing some really, really fun stuff. So tune in Monday, man. Monday is going to be a big day. I think you're going to see a lot come out in the future space, but be here or be there or be square. But yeah, I'll be live every day next week. Morning sessions. I might start factoring in some afternoon sessions, but definitely want to be tuning in for next week for sure. It's going to be sick. And like I said, more prop firm giveaways. I'm running one right now on Twitter, giving away 2 Tradeify accounts. Hop onto my Twitter, check that out. Links in the top of my description, links in the top of the chat, links in the description. You want to check me out on Twitter. I'm giving away multiple in Discord right now for guys that are active, coming up at the end of next week. And on my live sessions here, I'm going to be giving away a bunch. So stay tuned. It's coming up. Yeah, be some fun stuff. So again, not really getting a setup on this thing. This was the last opportunity. Obviously would have paid beautifully. Just a little bit aggressive to take it right after news. I think I was eyeballing it right down here at the close of that candle, headed down towards these lows. Again, if I was in this thing, would I be in it for a 2-to-1 risk to reward? No. I'd be in and out pretty quick, probably around that 1-to-1 level. I find that pays very well if you can get win rate above break even. And that's pretty sweet. But this thing is past a 2-to-1. 20 some odd points in profit if you were looking at something like that. Really, really nice, man. Really nice to the downside. Aggressive selling pressure. Again, hanging out with you guys, waiting for another setup on this, but don't have one just yet. Let's see. 220 made. Very nice. Very nice, Ryan. Don't utilize my news notes, but my strategy rules call for selling. Thankfully. Awesome. Just a trend trader now. I'm trying not to fight the trend. Quick shorts today again. Awesome. I always say I'm going to switch to S&P, and here I am tossing hair in NQ. Yeah, listen, I mean, they're similar, right? You're going to get differences in the way these candles print, in the momentum, in the volume, certainly in the volatility. They are very similar. You just got to pick what works best for you. Be careful, counter trend. Some guys are trying to long this and have paid the price, unfortunately. Yeah, who's trying to long right now? Yikes. Sometimes MNQ is a little too addictive, for the lack of a better word. Yeah, once you get used to that, in my humble opinion, it's difficult. It's a little difficult with ES, MES. Morning gang. What's up, Mike Z? Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like if I was going to generalize ES versus NQ, S&P versus NQ futures contracts, ES is going to be much slower printing, slower moving, lower volatility. I do find it respects market structure and price action a little bit more clearly, but it's just a little different movement, right? It seems to just trend more tightly, doesn't give you the big pullbacks and sweeps above highs and lows that NQ often does. But it can also, like Wolf said, be like watching paint dry, right? It can be moving so slow if you come from NQ that you're like, what's going on here? Is the volatility drying up? Like, is the move over? The volume kind of pulling out of this thing? So one's not better than the other, in my humble opinion. I do think there's a lot of beginner traders on NQ, just because that's what most guys trade here in the futures market, or at least what I see. And it can be too fast. It can just be too fast on low time frames. Too volatile. Doesn't give you enough time to think. And for those reasons, you might just do better with a little bit more time to think, ability to kind of just calm down, size a little bit slower, and just make your boring trading decisions, right? Structure risk. So. Morning, gang. Green on the week. Yeah, nice, Mike. Is the chart frozen? Yeah, right. Like ES is slow, man. ES is slow. And also, so I'm here on TradingView. So we can talk about this. I'm here on TradingView. This is gonna lead right into next week. This is Tradeify on Tradeovate. If you're on Tradeify, you're trading with Tradeovate or Ninja, and I'm integrated with TradingView here. Right, I'm logged in through TradingView with Tradeovate and Tradeify. It's slow as hell. Like, it's laggy. I notice it. Almost everybody notices it. The executions are slow. I don't like it. The tools are good. The chart's fantastic, but the way everything prints here versus Project X, which is a TradingView chart, but in my humble opinion, just much faster, much better. I don't like this integration. I'm here trading it this way with you guys because I was trying to scalp on these accounts really aggressively on NQ, which is something I've been doing and talking about and making more videos about, but it's just so dang slow, and I suck on a Tradeovate chart. It's just personal preference. I don't like Tradeovate charts. They're completely different. That it doesn't work well. So ES is a little bit slower moving. You saw the way that I enter. You know, I got time to think to a degree. It's not that bad. See what we get down here, man. See what we get. Again, appreciate you guys being here. You see the banners up above. I run a 100% free Discord. If you're not here from the free Discord, I run a 100% free trading Discord. Bunch of futures traders. I'm throwing the link in chat right now. I'm in there talking every day, answering questions, hanging out with you guys. I've been a little bit less active as of recent, just because I've been on here on YouTube so dang much and working on so much behind the scenes. But awesome community. I think we got like 1,800 members in there. It grew rapidly. 1,809 members currently. More than happy to have you in there. I think what I do, for the most part, is what most guys charge hundreds of dollars a month to do. To be trading live every single day, giving you my entire strategy, entries, exits, everything in real time, along with answering questions, breaking everything down, having a community of traders, and I'm happy to do that free. I do work with traders one-on-one. If you're interested in that, hit me up. I'm not even going to talk about it because I've only got a couple spots to fill. But on the back end, if you want to support me, support the channel, support the community, support anything, use code RDF if you're going to use any one of the firms or software companies that I'm affiliated and partnered with. Get yourself a discount, get me paid on the back end. Can't be unbiased. I stand to make money. But you want to support me, you want to support the channel, that's the way to do it, man. Code RDF at Tradeify, Take Profit Trader, a half a dozen other smaller prop firms. TradeZella, TradeSyncer, and Bookmap will get you the best discounts. Again, if you're interested in copy trading, you want to try TradeSyncer, excuse me. I partnered with them this week. You can get a 7-day free trial to check that stuff out. It is awesome. Cloud-based trade copying platform. Really gnarly. Really cool dashboard. I'll be showing you guys more about that as I get even more and more testing on it. So far, working pretty good. Very minimal errors. Much better, in my humble opinion, than the other options that are out there. But you can grain of salt that because I'm biased. Chat says... Yeah, I'm watching this level down here, guys. You can see the levels on my chart. Working decently. Not magic. Nothing magic here. We'll see if we continue to break to the downside. This looks like we just want to keep drifting, man. I don't know about longs from down here yet. Especially when you want to finish sooner. I try to make my daily goal before my toddler wakes up. That's why I trade NQ, but I am losing my stomach. A lot of emotions involved. NQ is a roller coaster in the chart emotionally too. Yeah. Tip for NQ, MNQ, sell the tops of candles, buy the bottoms. It retraces itself a lot, and that can save you a lot of money. Yeah. Mike, to a degree, that's what I do scalping it. It's very simple. Just utilize volume, but essentially it just trades over itself so much. Worked well yesterday. Ryan, have a few strict rules for candle entry. It eliminates guessing and emotions. Candle close, entry, and backtest it. Worked great for me and many traders out there, including IC traders, I suppose. Yes, sir. Yeah, I had a dude continue to break to the downside. So someone pointed out in the community, I had a dude on Topstep TV yesterday, a kid that was 20 years old, was there. He's on like the Rising Stars segment and is a live funded trader now. Mentioned me, and that I think he found me on YouTube, here on YouTube, Trading Live, or one of my YouTube videos, something. And that was the introduction to trading futures, or trading futures with Topstep. He continued on. It sounded like he was talking about some ICT type concepts, some smart money concepts. It was not trading the way that I'm trading, but pulled like $100,000 or something like that out of Topstep in a very short amount of time. So that was interesting to see. That was very interesting to see. Someone threw that in the chat. I logged on and heard that. Coach Jay said, "Yeah, credited you for getting him to Topstep." But crazy stuff. I didn't watch the whole segment. Again, I caught enough of just him sounding like a normal, wise kid, man. You know, awesome to hear that type of stuff. Obviously, a lot of risk to be taken on to do that. You know, in my opinion, I like to be realistic. A lot of risk taken on to do that. Maybe a lot of money behind the trading, although it didn't seem like it at all, the way that he was talking about it. But was talking about somewhat looked to me from the outside to be like smart money, ICT type stuff. A lot of complicated markings on the chart, which I'm not a fan of, but he is doing fantastic. So I commend and congratulate anybody that finds that type of success. It's incredible, especially in a short amount of time. Yeah, continuing to push to the downside, man. This is looking so damn weak. So damn weak. Yeah, again, like I said, this looked like it was just going to continue. No real structure to get in on this. I mean, yeah, 5-minute bars, like just consecutive bearish 5-minute bars, none trading above prior bar high. This really does not provide any way to structure risk outside of just jumping in on breaks of small pullbacks and anticipating to continue. This is gnarly to the downside, man. You can see this zone come into play a little bit on a pullback and now a continuation through it. I don't have an entry on this, guys. Took my profit and got in, got out, got paid. Trying to find another way or what we have to set up, but I don't have an opportunity. So I'm going to sit here and watch it with you guys for a little while longer. We'll see if something sets up. You know, we start to completely break structure to the upside. We get a nice pullback. We get more structure to the downside. We get a level. We get something on liquidity on the order book that shows me that, you know, we got a level to target maybe, but this just has not been a good way to structure risk. But again, not mad with some profit, right? Albeit small profit. I stopped at ICT. Yeah. Oh, I stopped ICT. Yeah, Mike Z says now they will ban him. Topstep won't like that long term, putting a lot of money out from them. That's why they changed the move to rules to live. Not live. Well, yeah, I got you. Welcome to Market 2025. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, you know, you're going to get into a live account, right? If you pull that type of profit from any firm, you're going to get your ass into a live account. And hopefully the firm that you're trading with has some benefits for live accounts. I think that should be on the front end of what these firms are doing. But yeah, interesting stuff coming out of Topstep. Right? Interesting stuff coming out of Topstep for sure. Oh. Yeah, watching this thing just continuing to sell. I'm just using ICT or SMC as an example of having strict rules. I created my own strategy with NQ NAS 100 with 11 months back tested, 3 of those months forward tested, 75% win rate with 1-to-1. Yeah, it's beautiful, dude. It's beautiful. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it into a whole conversation about just different trading strategies or approaches. Just find what works for you. In my humble opinion, keep it simple, right? Use stuff that speaks to you, that seems to repeat itself, that works. Back test, forward test. You could put up stats anywhere like what Ryan just said there, much lower. You'd be in a great position to be able to trade profitably. Most important thing is make sure it makes sense to you. Make sure it fits with your style, with your approach. I'm making a lot of videos right now on risk to reward for that reason. One, because this thing is just continuing to dump. Anyway, making a lot of videos on risk to reward, going into more detail. I'm going to do one that has like a lot of math behind it. I think that might be my game plan this weekend. Talk a lot in detail about risk to reward. And I made a couple of videos, having long conversations and comments from guys, and there is disagreement. But it's important to understand some of the misconceptions. It's important to understand the math behind it and the freedom that you have to exercise finding something that works for you. That's the point. The more that I trade, the more that I do what I do, I recognize the less there is one right or wrong way to do stuff, which at first can feel overwhelming because we would all just like the answer, but I can tell you there is no one single answer. There's math. There are black and whites when it comes to just straight up math. But a lot of the way that we think about that type of stuff is first off is wrong. It's just incorrect. The commonly held beliefs around it are wrong. And that can be damaging to traders and hold them back. Man, yeah, I've really just yapped through this sell-off. I don't have a way into this. I'm watching the market here with you guys. I hope that there's some other guys on YouTube that have just sold and hold all the way down through these lows. If you watch me trade, that's not my approach. Scalping this to the downside would have paid. I just did not have it in me to start to take this thing short. We have continued to sell off. This is looking really weak. Like I said, we started to break through this level. I was really cautious. I had bias correct, grabbed quick profit. That initial trade, here's an example, right? That initial trade, right? Taking profit from way up here at overnight low would now be, 218 ticks in profit, right? Here's the stupid math to do. What coulda, shoulda, woulda. 222 ticks in profit times had three micro contracts on 300 it would be $832 in additional profit times 5 is $4,000 in additional profit. If you are someone that holds for large risk to rewards, that could work. That could work really, really well, right? What you will have to withstand is all the times where I got short somewhere up here that we find, we find support down here. We found buyers down here and we just crack back up into entry or into stop loss. That will happen more often than what we saw today happens. But if you shoot for this in the long run, you can have that, play out for you and end up very profitable, right? Very, very profitable. Just comes down to your own preference, your style, the way that you want to trade, what you find works best for you, your P&L, the way that you think about the markets. But yeah, insane sell-off, man. Insane sell-off. Just continuing to the downside here. Really not backing off by any means. Slow grind down to these lows. If you were waiting to buy and you didn't take 47 stop outs so far, I think we're coming up to an area. Again, this is a gnarly sell-off. I think we're coming up to an area where we might find some buyers. Why? We found a little bit right here at this level of high volume. We're testing these lows. Maybe we sweep down. We come and check out like the mid 640s. Maybe. I don't see it being very common that we just break and continue to completely sell off in one knife-like fashion. It's possible, but I think we potentially find some buyers up here. Yeah, some buyers down here. They could be in store. So on that note, I'm cautious of shorts down here as well. So no massive setup. This might be the one and done trade for me. I'm gonna watch for a little while longer, see if something else sets up. But yeah, if I was gonna start trying buys, this is the area that I'd be waiting for. Just one more time, guys. Like, you know, I think that we're likely to see a pullback to some level, even if we're going to continue lower. That's just normalcy and pattern recognition from price action to market structure. Maybe back up here to the 70s. We continue down without doing that. It could be even uglier on the day. But so far, just pushing through. No buyer stepping in. We got nothing here. Look at the 1 minute chart. Straight knife to the downside. It's wild, man. Really wild. Both indices touched previous week's low. There you go. Yeah, candle closes we're talking about. Yeah, we're talking about there's a mixed thing in here. Yeah, we're talking about, you know, business perspective, prop firms, all that type of stuff. Won't go into too much detail about it, man. But stay tuned next week, guys. Stay tuned next week. That's all I'm gonna say. Hop on here next week. Hop in the community if you're not already. There's gonna be some really cool stuff that I think you're going to be interested in. Ryan says, been at it close to 5 years. I promise your work you put in will pay off. Just like any business, many don't want to gather the data and put the work in, but it pays off. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Be right back, guys. Be right back with you. Gonna grab some water. Back in action here with you guys. Market is still selling off. Found just a little bit of buyers at this zone. I like the way my levels were today, man. I like where they were. Yeah, guys, this is interesting. We may just continue down through this level. Nasty drop today. Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys hopping on, man. Good conversations in the chat. We took a win. Just over 600 bucks across 5 Tradeify 50K accounts here, linked through Tradeify on Topstep. Again, guys, make sure you hop on the streams next week. Hop in the free Discord. I got a bunch of cool stuff coming up. I think you guys are gonna like it. Giveaways, a whole bunch more than just giveaways. But on that note, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up right here. I just don't see another trade setting up. I think we might find some buyers down here. Maybe we kind of chop around and bounce before we sell off. I'm not comfortable selling off through this level. I'm not going to start looking for buys on a day like today. I'm probably going to get some scalping in my Topstep accounts. Again, a little bit different approach, just more aggressive through consolidation. But on that note, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. There's an idiot here on YouTube. Trading's very risky. Most traders lose money. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content. Have a great weekend, boys and girls. I appreciate you. Yeah, have a great weekend, man. Get outside, touch some grass, spend time with your family, yourself, with nature, with the concrete. Get outside, get off the charts. If you're in that early stage of trading, grind it out, do what you need to do. Read, study, back test. You know, get time in the markets on the charts, but you also got to recognize, pull yourself out of it every once in a while. Just pull yourself out of it, come back fresh, ready to put the work in. So appreciate you guys. Hell of a week coming up next week. Stay tuned. I will see you live. I'll see you in Discord. I'll keep you guys updated. Talk to you across socials. Again, subscribe to the channel. Ton of stuff coming out here on YouTube, but also active as all hell on Instagram and Twitter. Talk to you guys soon. Have an awesome weekend. Appreciate you being here. Another W on the live.